Good morning. Listen, after numerous requests, I'm gonna do a brisket video. I'm gonna walk you through step by step by step how to do a brisket and burnt ends. Now look, you can take a brisket out of a package, throw salt, pepper, garlic powder on it, throw it on a pit, cook it, get it done, get it tender, slice it, and you're done, and it's over with. Or you can add a whole bunch of other steps that add flavor and flavor profile, and it's just flat fun to do. I love cooking brisket. Haven't done it as much as I used to, obviously, and so I'm gonna cook one and just have a great time doing it. I want to share it with you so you can pick up some hints and tricks along the way. We're starting off with a almost 20-pound choice brisket. Okay, it's a big bad boy. Good marbling in here on the flat, on the point. We're nice and marbled there as well. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and trim this up. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're not going to spend a lot of time showing you actually doing it. I'll get it done and then show you. But I'm going to take this skin off, expose all this meat because this is where our bark's coming from. I'm going to take the decal fat out of there. And one thing that I'm going to do, because we're doing burnt ends, you see this flat back here? I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut it just like that, and that's going to be a roast. We're going to cook this just like we do the brisket, and that's going to be some amazing, amazing burnt ends. So I'm going to get to work on that. Listen, now we're gonna make our injection. And again, you know, like with all this stuff, there are lots and lots and thousands of different directions that you can go. The key is to think about what you want that ultimate flavor to be. And the fun is playing around with a whole bunch of different stuff on whether you do injections, with brines, marinades, whatever you're doing. Here's what I'm gonna do today. I'm telling you, I'm going a little bit crazy. I got Moore's Original Marinade. We're gonna put that in. A stick of butter. We're gonna use about a quarter cup of Blues Hog, which if you've never had this barbecue sauce, this is the staple, the foundation in the competition world. We're gonna put some Coke in there. We're gonna put some Head Country, another amazing beefy tasting sauce, and the juice of 2 lemons. So that's gonna be the sauce that we make up, and then we'll inject it. We got the brine injection, and I'm telling you, man, this has an amazing flavor to it. This is what we're gonna use for injection. This is what we're gonna baste it with and take care of that. The brisket is in a pan. I've got a rack in here that keeps it up off the bottom. On the bottom, I layered 1 sliced onion and about 5 cloves of garlic that are in there. The reason I love doing them in pans is because the pan is gonna collect all the juices, and the juice is where the love is. So I don't want that draining off somewhere. I wanna hold on to that, and we're gonna use that to dip and make the au jus at the end and store it. When I store my brisket, I put it in with a little bit of au jus, and that au jus just soaks into it. Oh, makes for amazing stuff. The au jus is where the love is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just real simple. I'm just gonna use my little injector here, suck up the juice, and I'm gonna inject the brisket in a little square pattern throughout the brisket, and we got our little loaf here. I'll inject the loaf, and then we'll be ready to put the rub on. Now I've already rubbed the backside, but I just wanted to show you what we're going to do here on the top side, the meat side going in, and what I've done is I've coated it with garlic aioli mayonnaise. It's what's called a binding agent. Now you can use nothing, you can use olive oil, you can use mustard, you can use whatever. I just really like the sound of garlic aioli mayo. And now we're gonna put our rubs on. I've got basically a blackened seasoning rub. It's actually a Gold Line product. And so that's gonna give it some nice bark, nice flavor, little tiny bit of kick, but not much. So we're just gonna We got the rub on there. We're gonna get it nice and coated. Then we're gonna go with our Montreal steak seasoning. And listen, I would never do this in competition, but this isn't for competition, this is for us. And this is for me to use as a marketing tool also, that all those people that I go and talk to about being a sponsor for United by Barbecue, which is like, well, why wouldn't you want to sponsor United by Barbecue? Because listen, hey, let me take a diversion here. If you want to talk about unity in the country, what's the one thing that can unify all people, ages, religions, nationalities, and everything? Barbecue. And that's what we're all about. Look, United by Barbecue is all about taking care of people, giving them some hope when disasters strike their life. We've got natural disasters that are hitting them. Now we've got political disasters and economic disasters and health disasters. But that's what we're all about, is cooking them some barbecue with a ton of love in it, basically to show people you're going to get through this one step at a time. That's what United Barbecue is all about. So we're going to load it up with some Montreal steak seasoning. And then we're going to coat it on the top once again with a nice coating, light, delicate coating of chipotle powder, which gives it a little bit of kick. But what it does for the bark is just absolutely incredible. So there we have that, and a little dusting, just a little dusting of chipotle powder. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stick of butter. I'm going to take this stick of butter, I'm going to cut it into little pads, and I'm just going to place it all over the brisket for when we put it into the smoker. Put it into the refrigerator, let it sit overnight, or sit till tonight, and I'm going to go, I'll probably put it on the pit probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. So at about 275, maybe 300, probably 275. We'll show you that later. All right, this Saturday, it's a 2-day deal because there's no shortcuts to great barbecue. God bless you.
Okay, it is 3:20 in the morning, and we putting the brisket on. Okay, Harvey, it's time to check the brisket. All right, it's 6:15. We're running at 272, and I got it set at 275. 6:15, which means 3 hours. 3 hours we've been on. Oh, you can't see it. Gotta get some light. Looking good. Looking good.
Okay, good morning. What time is it? It's 9:15, isn't it? Yeah, it's 9:15, which means brisket's been on for 6 hours. Been up all night cooking this. And actually, no, I got some sleep. But anyways, internal temperature is one. Been cooking at 275. It's 161. So I'm figuring the stall happens about 165, 170. So we're gonna let this go another hour. But I've been basting it with the basting juice. Look at the bark on that. Look at the bark on that. Now what I'm gonna do is, now for the last hour, I am going to hit it with some sauce. This is mostly Head Country sauce. It's a thicker, most Head Country with a little bit of Blues Hog in there. And what that's going to do with that sugar content, that's going to help that bark just really kind of come along. And you can see that we got some good bark action going there. Thing and crustify it. The sugars will get it all barky. All right, so we're going to let this go for another hour. We're going to let this bark set up. Then we're going to wrap it and get it finished and make some burn ends. Do it all. So we're at about 170-ish degrees on the internal temperature right now, so it's time to pull this baby, get her wrapped up. We got the jiggly going on. You always want the jiggly going on. Hey, this is going to be turned into burn ends. That's that piece. Some of you guys were asking about that on that back side. What are we going to do here to wrap this baby? Let's do this. Let's start off with some sauce. We're going to pour some sauce on there. Oop, you know what I forgot? Butter. This is the same sauce I basted it with. And we're going to put more butter on there. Put some butter on that little roasty thing we got there. Gonna hit it with some rub. This is the same rub that I put on before. You can see that butter just melting off already. Okay, that's not a problem. All right, we got some honey. We're gonna put some honey on there, letting it roll there. Okay, so we got that, we got that, we got that. We got the rub. Okay, now we're gonna wrap this baby up. And this is a big brisket. So we're gonna have to use extra. Okay, so now I got a little pouch holding there. Take a little bit of Coke. Gonna pour that down in there. And I got a really good story about Coke and cooking down in Haiti. Yeah, they barbecuing in Haiti. They definitely were surprised about the Coke. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn this guy. There we go. Okay. Time to get us all sealed up. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, now what I'm going to do. Now all that wonderful, amazing juice that we cooked it in. Got the onions down in there. We got garlic, and I'm gonna run all this through. All that au jus, Strain it out, and then I'm gonna take our brisket and put it right back on the rack. Okay. Got the grill. We're going to be cooking at 400 degrees. Setting it on top of that aluminum pan so we're not on direct heat. We're going to go 400 degrees. We're going to finish it out. Listen, a lot of mistakes people make is they say, I'm going to cook it to 205 or 208 or 200. Look, the number doesn't matter. What matters is when you take that temperature probe and you probe it in there that it's like kind of like butter going in and out. So we cook to feel. Numbers just kind of give us an idea, but we're cooking to a feel. That's what we're going to do. Okay, here you go. One massive brisket. Rebark. Now, when I say you're not working your brisket to a certain temperature, all over this guy, I had different readings. I had 211, I had 202, 196, 2. So what you're really going for is that probe feel. You're going for that buttery feel, and I got it here in the heart of the brisket, which is a good thing. Now this is a point up here. This is the point, as is this piece here, which is the one that I took off the backside. This and this I'm going to cube up into burn ends, and I'm going to make us some burn ends and back onto the pit, and we're going to go from there. But I'm going to let it rest for about an hour before I cut it, so that it starts to suck up all the liquid and the juices. And, oh, by the way, this here, remember the juice that I strained out? Now, I put it in the freezer, and so the fat has separated on it. You take that hard fat off. You can use that to make roux, kind of like bacon grease. You can use it to make roux, or it's amazing fat that you can use. And then the what's left beneath, the non-fat stuff, is like barbecue love. So that'll be part of the au jus that we use, or we store it in and let it cool off in. Hey, isn't this beautiful? Okay, look, here we go. We got the brisket, we got the flat up here, we got the point. This is where the burn ends come from. A lot more marbled, a lot more fat in here. You're gonna see these are gonna make luscious deals. You notice when I trimmed it too, I kind of cut it out, so I could almost take my hand and just separate those two, but it's awfully hot. So it's been resting about an hour. I'm just gonna and I also like to have some of the point in some of these slices back here. So I'm just gonna kind of trim this back just a little bit. And all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this back. We're gonna deal with that a little bit later, and I'm gonna make some burn ends. Okay. Now this is that piece that we took off the backside. I'll cut that first. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it into cubes. For the babies. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Here is the barbecue sauce that we used throughout the process, Head Country and Blues Hog. They are almost full apart right now. Okay, now we're gonna line them up in a pan with a little rack on it. Burn ends gonna be some amazing stuff. Back out onto the pit. I'm gonna say for 25 minutes. And then you've got burn ends. And then we also gotta slice up the other one. Okay, we're here at the end. What time is it? 2 o'clock. I've been up, it's almost 12 hours. No, what time? I started at 3 in the morning. So it's almost 12 hours. Today, and then we got prepped yesterday. Anyways, here we are, we're cutting it. It's at its time to rest. Look at that. Look at that. Now, one of the tests of brisket, guys, we use the finger test. Passes the finger test. Really happy with this. Okay, so we're gonna keep cutting that up. We got our burn ends right here. Candied burn ends, and so there you have it. There you have it. Barbecue Pro Champion Brisket 2-day event. Great smoke ring, great moisture, great flavor. Burn ends are melting in your mouth. And the key is there's no shortcuts to great barbecue. Now listen, if you're watching it to this point and you got something out of this video, like you learned something new, how about a little donation to United by Barbecue? Look, we're supported by the community, supported by individuals. So if it's on your heart, if God puts it on your heart to help and support us financially, we'd love to have that. Go to the website. But there it is, brisket. Had fun, great cooking it, love it. And you know what I'm gonna be using this for? The brisket and I'm gonna put them in little packages, like 3 or 4 slices of brisket. Excuse me, and a couple burn ends. And when I go on calls to companies to tell them about United by Barbecue to get them to invest in us, I'm gonna butter them up with some brisket. God bless you. Have a great day. You have a great day.